This is Dr. Phil Chavez of the Men's Academy. Born in 1478, Sir Thomas More eventually settled in Chelsea in 1520. This area is about 8 miles west of London. Yes, it's very wet outside, as London often is. In any case, his house was built on Beaufort Street, but it hardly remains today. There's really no trace of it. Now, Thomas rebuilt one of the chapels in the old Chelsea church right behind me, where he and his family came to worship often. This church was largely destroyed in air raid in 1941, but restored in 1950. However, the Moore Chapel and the monument which he built was left completely, virtually almost intact. Now, Moore secured a house for many aged people, as generous as he was, and he provided for their needs. It was his daughter Margaret's duty to see that they lacked nothing. When Moore was a private lawyer, he would take no fees from the poor, widows, or students. Now, Sir Thomas More was often met by King Henry VIII, who came here frequently to visit More, who was his Lord High Chancellor. And supposed, according to the biographer Faulkner, that the King Henry VIII, when he wrote against Luther, he arranged much of his writings for the public with the assistance of St. Thomas More during these visits. Now, the loyalty to the Pope and the Church of Rome completely flipped for King Henry, 180, when the king decided to do some wife swapping, which got neither the approval of More nor the Church. So Henry declared himself as the head of church in England, and More, like many others, was eventually executed, which was done so in 1535 for More, which was considered a high treason to be against that move. Now, Sir Thomas More was a great scholar. His famous work, and many have heard, is called Utopia. But the last book that St. Thomas wrote was during his imprisonment, called The Sadness of Christ. It's a reflection on the agony of Christ, in some way reflecting, too, his own anxiety and fear that comes from his journey toward martyrdom. Now, after his beheading, his body was buried at the Tower of London, in the chapel of St. Peter, in an unmarked grave. His head was fixed on a pike over London Bridge, yet after a month, his daughter retrieved it. The skull is believed to rest in a vault at St. Dunstan's Church at Canterbury, but some research believe that skull of his head is here, actually buried in a monument here erected, right here in the old church of Chelsea. More was canonized by the Catholic Church exactly 400 years after his death in 1935. Brothers, may more churchmen rise up who will not bow to the twisted powers of the state. Brothers, God be with you.
We appreciate you viewing our Manly Minutes. Thank you for whatever donation you can offer to make our content possible. Go to themensacademy.org/donate. Thank you.